Hey there everyone, I'm Dicebag, and I'm picking up where I left off with a solo campaign for my monster collecting tabletop RPG, Crytures. I've had a scouting party out exploring the wilderness, and last time around, the party had to fight off a small pack of creatures that disturbed them during the night. But they also met some other humans out in the wilderness. A hunting party of tribesmen were out and about, so they exchanged some information and were able to make some friends before going on their way. So let's get back into it and see where they go from here. Alright, so let's go ahead and move these out of the way for one thing. And we'll move on to the next space. That means we need to make our navigation roll. Let's see, who's our navigator? Maria. Maria is the navigator. So we're not doing all the other rolls with Squumper and Flory because there's nothing there to encounter. Normally if you're playing with other people, the DM was going to ask for it anyways, but we don't need to because we know there's nothing to find. So we're gonna roll navigation. Let's see. 2, 9, 3, 10, 8. Alright, that's pretty good. That's a pretty good roll. We keep rolling like that, it's not even gonna matter that they didn't pack a compass. So let's see. Density plus 5 is the difficulty, so we're looking for 7. So we roll 4 successes. That's more than enough to get to the next space with no problem. Let's see. I think we're going to follow a path of going here, here, and here, here, and we'll just circle around back here. Once we get to this space, we'll be 1 space away from the starting point. So we'll have a nice little area covered. So let's roll for what this little spot is. 5 is another brushland. Okay. Brushland is actually pretty easy to get through. Only takes like 3 hours of travel. So these guys are going to be booking it. Alright, we got brushland over here. And next die rolls a 6. So we've got 2 features to roll for. So there's a sight over here too. Sight. And next one is we roll a 10 though. 10 means there's a creature nest here. So they're seeing lots of tracks of creatures. Well, actually they don't see anything yet because we haven't rolled anything for it. Okay, so these guys continue with their same rolls. We are also going to knock off 1 stamina for traveling that 1 space. Alrighty. So what do we have? Flory, I think, is going to be up next. She's the explorer, so she's going off the path looking for things. She's keeping an eye out, getting on high ground, climbing up trees, and getting vantage points. So let's see what she finds, if she finds anything at all. Let's see, there's the roll macro. And she rolls, ooh. Ugh. Let's see. Agility plus observation is the skills we're rolling here. So what does Flory have in observation? Okay, she has 2. So she scores 2 1s. So she scores 2 1s and 3 successes. So we're gonna you know what, we're gonna say like it's a crit failure. However, the successes do still count. So something happens. So let's see. Does she... We're gonna ask the Oracle. Does she suffer an injury? That's a no. Does she, Does she lose stamina as a punishment? That's a no. Alright. Since she did roll 2 1s, which matches her observation skill, that should be... Or maybe I should only have crit failures happen when there's no successes. I'm not sure about that. We're gonna have to work that out. We'll deal with that later. Anyways, she does find the site, so we're gonna roll for that right now. Alright, let's go down to the sites table. And we'll roll 3d10, right? Actually, the features are going to be on a completely different table, but yeah, we'll roll it anyways. Let's see. Looking at 6. What's 6? 6 is a ruin. Size of 2. Alright. So we're not going in to, like, investigate things closely. So it's just a fairly small site. We're just gonna leave it be, and later on we'll send out, like, actual expeditions into these places with a different team. So we'll save that there. We know about that. Now it's Anton's turn to do the tracking. See if he can pick up on this creature pack. Let's see. Density 5. Density plus 5, so that's 7 is the difficulty. We score 8, 8, 3, 4, 6, 4, 3. We do pick up on the creatures. Alright, now we need to figure out what they are. The creature nest, no less. So that means they're probably going to be all over the place. This place is going to be crawling with creatures. Let's see. You know what? We're in the day part of the table this time, so... Let's see, we'll roll the 3d10 on the day table. We'll roll a 7. 7 is zipjacks. That's another one. I'm not sure if those are on... Okay, they are. There we go. These little guys, little jackalopes. So we've got a zipjack nest. And that probably means since it's a nest, there's probably bigger ones there too. Anyways, let's see. 5 is the next one, so that's hostility. Hostility, and the size is 7, so party plus 1 for the danger. That means 10 danger in total. Alright, so you know, I haven't really made like specific rules about how creature nests are handled differently than just regular encounters, but I do know that these are going to be like consistent features of the area. So this might be something we come back to later to clear out the nest and make sure they don't cause trouble. Or if we leave it alone for long enough, it might start causing trouble anyways. And on the other hand, if people want to pick up a Zipjack for their own collections, they're going to be able to come here. So, let's see, 5 hostility means that they shouldn't be looking for a fight, luckily. So we're going to go by and run to the next spot. So we're going to do navigation again. Alright, Maria's really knocking that out of the park. Let's see, density plus 5. 7 is the target number. She rolls a 10, 2, 6, 8, 2. So she rolls another roll of 3 successes. She is not getting lost at all. She doesn't even need the compass that we forgot to pack. Alright, so let's generate this next tile. Roll 6d10. Alright, a 7 is our first one. So that's the deep woods. The deep woods. Alright. Here's where things might get a little more dicey. Deep woods is a little more dense. It's 4 density, which means, let's see. It's gonna take 5 hours for them to cross it. So this is a really thick wood. Lots of canopy, lots of brush, lots of trees. Darker than usual. And let's see. So it's still during the daytime period. So they're not dealing with darkness entirely while they're traveling. The next one, we're gonna use 4 of the dice for the features of the area. As we can see, let's see. The next one is 4, so that's a hazard. Oh, I need to bring up the token though. Deep woods, there we go. You got a hazard. So just to talk about my kind of philosophy on how I'm handling this, I like to do things in a way that's like different levels of awareness. So the first roll we do is going to be the overall things in the tile. So just like the tile and what's there. So that's your main level of investigation. The first one, you're just passing through and looking. And then as you encounter each of the features themselves, then we roll them individually. And then if you want to go in and actually like do something involving one of those, then we get into a deeper layer. And we're gonna follow that kind of formula throughout the whole thing. So the goal is to be able to go into like each of these like dungeons and sites and have kind of the same formula. So you'll go into the dungeon and we'll like roll the size of the dungeon, and then you'll be able, that'll tell you how many rooms are there. And then you'll go into each room, then you'll find out what the room is. You'll see cursory level of things in there. Then as you go in and interact with those things, you'll find out more of the details, and each of those things is going to be a separate roll for finding out what they are. So, continuing where I was, let's see, the next one is 5, which is another hazard. And we still need 2 more. Third one is 1, which is humans. And then 6, which is a site. Alright. So they're finding stuff left and right. But we gotta get through these hazards first. And frankly, Squumper is our guide. And he's not so good at it. So he's the one who's supposed to be keeping an eye out for dangerous things like this. But we don't know if he is any good at it. So let's see. We're going to have him roll for his guide check here. Ooh. 5, 1, 9, and 10. So he scores... Let's see, the difficulty is 9, I think. Yeah, 9. Density plus 5, and density is 4. So that's a really difficult check, but he actually knocks it out. He scores 3 successes with the crit. So he reveals both hazards, which generally means we can just kind of skip over them. We can avoid them if we need to, but we'll still want to roll what they are, just so we know for later. Alright, first hazard is an 8. An 8, that's a cliff. Alright. And let's see. 1 is the next one. 1 is dense brush. Now, I think last time I did this, I ruled that since they identified the hazard, they are able to just bypass it, even though it's just like a consistent thing. I'm not sure if I should do it that way, though. Because you're going to encounter hazards no matter what, so identifying them is kind of taking the edge away. Let's say, like, rather than avoiding them entirely, you get like a +2 to the checks. Or we could do it kind of on a case-by-case basis. So some of them you can avoid, and some of them you just get the check. Let's go ahead and do it that way. Alright, so let's deal with the cliff. It feels like this has been a little less dangerous than it should be, so we're gonna tighten up the rules a little bit and make them a little more on edge. So first we need to figure out how high the cliff is. 8. That's a big cliff. 8 complexity. That's one that we might want to just kind of circumvent. Let's see, what is the penalty for that? Spend 1 additional hour to cross the space. We can probably afford that, because the alternative is to potentially take damage or suffer an injury. And we're looking at a roll of fitness plus athletics. So what do the guys actually have? Anton has no athletics and only 3 fitness. He's also got an agility injury already. So taking another one is going to incapacitate him, and we don't want that. So I'm thinking we really... And the difficulty is 8. Yeah, we're not climbing this cliff down. We're finding another way, a less perilous way through this thing. That's just too dangerous. So we're gonna tack on an extra hour to their travel. And then the dense brush, that's another one. Ooh, that's another thing that's gonna slow them down. Not something that's really dangerous, just something that's gonna waste their time and resources. Alright, crossing the space takes 1 extra hour to cross per density. Now you can spend 1 stamina to try and cut it away. So, let's see. I think some of these guys do have stuff that's good for that. Like, Anton's got a hatchet. Maria's got a cutlass, so those are decent tools for actually cutting through brush. They'll get a bonus for that. Let's see, I don't see... Yeah, Flory doesn't have such a thing. She just has a dagger for a melee weapon. So we're gonna go ahead and have them roll with their weapons. Anton sucks and rolls a double 1 and a 2. He should probably take a penalty for that. You know what? Let's see. Melee, he has no skill in melee, so let's just say he breaks his freaking hatchet while doing this. Doesn't know how to use it very well. He just gets a freaking big old chip in it trying to chop something that's way too big. So we'll mark that on the sheet, and then it's up to Maria to actually cut through the rest of the brush. We'll give her the cutlass. Oof. She does not have a whole lot going for her, but she does score a couple successes, it looks like. Let's see. We're looking at density +5, so, that's a 9. But she does get bonuses for the cutlass. The cutlass is made to cut, like, actual wood and whatnot. Made as a tool and a weapon, so we're gonna, let's see, she's got a 9 and an 8 with a 2 and a 3, so we're gonna give her the 9 and the 8 with the bonus included and say that's 2 successes. And that means, let's see, oh yeah, doing so takes 1 stamina too for all of these things. We really don't want to spend an extra 2 hours on this at this point. That's something I'm not fond of. So let's go ahead and have Flory try to do something with her dagger. She's gonna help, quote unquote help. And she does not do very well. She does not score a 9. That sucks. Alright. So we're gonna add 2 more hours onto this thing. Wunderbar. Alright, so the next one we're gonna deal with is humans. So Anton is pretty good at that. Whoops, we don't need 2 rolls. I'll just take the first one. Anton's a good tracker. He scores, let's see, density +5, so we're looking at 9. He scores a 9 and a 10. So that's 3 successes with the crit. So he does in fact find the traces of humans. Let's see, how many humans are there exactly? 1, 1, and 7. That is not many humans. Okay, 1 is a camp. And 1 numbers. So the camp multiplies the number 5 by 5. So There's, what, 5 people there? That's not very many, actually. For a camp. Like, I'm gonna have to tweak these numbers, it just doesn't make much sense. We'll probably tweak how the numbers are distributed. So maybe, like, make it like a minimum of 3. And then a maximum of, I don't know. Well, you know what? 10 might work for a maximum. We'll deal with that later. We don't need to make rulings on that for now because we can just avoid them. They are 7 hostile. So since there's a group of them, I think these guys are going to be more wary and not really go after them. Not choose to encounter them, for one thing. Because if they do, they wouldn't know if they're hostile, but if they do turn out to be hostile, there's more danger there. The previous ones were only 3, and they didn't know that one of them was a conjurer. So, as far as they're concerned, they had them well outnumbered with their creatures. But these, I think we're just gonna leave them alone. Now, tribesmen aren't really out there trying to look for intruders to hunt down or anything, so we'll let them pass. Now we need to deal with the site, and that is Florey's job to look out for these things. So let's see. Let's give her an exploration roll. Oh, she sucks. That is a bad roll. 2, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2. Florey doesn't even see it. Alright, so we're going to put a question mark by that. We don't know what it is. We don't know where it is. They don't even know it's there. It is too dense in this area to actually find anything like this. I guess you can see the tribesmen because they're breaking all kinds of branches and stepping on twigs and stuff and leaving tracks everywhere, but the site just don't do anything. It's just sitting there. So yeah, that sucks. That could have been a big one. Oh, it could have been the jackpot. Could have been the big dungeon. Who knows? Maybe we'll find it later. They'll probably want to make contact with the tribesmen at some point, so that'll be a future adventure, perhaps, for a different party. A party that has a member of the Viridian Order who can actually negotiate and talk to people. But yeah, I think we're pretty late in the day now. It is 9 p.m. The sun is going down. They're going to need to actually find a place to camp now. So I think now would probably be a good time to call it an episode. So yeah, that'll be it for this time. We'll see how these guys fare out getting to the way back to civilization in the next day, and dealing with things as they come up as they camp. They've been pretty good about camping, though. They shouldn't have any problems, I don't think. So anyways. Alright, I'm gonna wrap up the episode here. Thanks for watching, and since you made it this far, don't forget to leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. But most importantly, leave me some feedback in the comments. The game is still in development, so I'd like to hear what people think. And if you want to see more, I've got all these sessions on a playlist that you can watch back to back. There's also a bunch of links in the description for other places that you can find creatures. So, until next time, farewell, conjurers, and may you walk the waking dream.